This is Romans 8 and 1. It says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit, right? So, in other words, you can't go wrong following Yahweh Shai and doing things of the spirit. You cannot go wrong, right? And matter of fact, let me just get it real quick. Because a lot of people are confused what the spirit is, right? A lot of people try to come up with their own terms of what the spirit is. But the scriptures already define what the spirit is, right? Galatians 5 and 22. But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, right? That's the spirit, right? Also compassion, mercy, right? These things are the spirit, right? So people who follow after those things, right? People who follow after those things, those are the people in whom there's no condemnation, right? You can never go wrong when you do those things I just said. You can never go wrong doing those things, right? Let's imagine you walking down the block, la 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 la. Somebody smacks you across the face, and you pull open the spirit index. Okay, let me implement charity. How would that be carried out? You pray for this person, right? You walk away. You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that. There's nothing in the spirit that you can implement, and that'd be the wrong thing to do. Not in no situation. I don't care what situation you come up with. There's nothing in the spirit that you can implement that'd be wrong, right? You can't do it. Every situation you can implement the spirit. Romans 8 and 2. It says, for the law of the spirit of life and Hamashiach Yahweh Shai had made me free from the law of sin and death. Right. So when you follow Yahweh Shai, you're free from sin and death. Why is that? Because you're going to have two types of people. Right? The Lord is going to judge you based off. The Lord is going to have two different types of. I'm gonna roughly use this. I'm gonna loosely use this word, judgment. Right? He's going to have two different types. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say two doors. You're going to have two different types of doors. Right? People who follow through love is going to go through this door. Right? People who follow through. People who want to try to keep the law and everything else is going to go through the door over here, right? So the only way to actually receive salvation is that love door, right? You're going to have people who kept all the works of the law, right? For 20 years without blemish, right? The works of the law. And they still want to die with a sodomite, right? They still want to die with somebody who abuses drugs, somebody who's an alcoholic. They still want to die with them, right? Somebody who's a stripper, right? They still want to die with them. There's only two doors, right? The door with love, and everybody else, their door, right? Because the only way to not be judged by the law and sin is love. That's the only way to not be judged by that stuff, right? So if you think you're going to try to follow the law, right? You think you're going to come in through that way, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You are not going to survive that. I promise you that. It says, for what the law could not do. See, the law cannot save anybody, right? and that it is weak. It was weak through the flesh. God sent his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, for sin condemned sin in the flesh. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit. Right? So righteousness is going to be fulfilled via what? The Spirit. Right? Righteousness is not going to be fulfilled by the law. There's no way to make it into the kingdom by keeping the law, right? By the works of the law. There's no way to make it in there through that. You're not going to survive. It says, Romans 8:4, it says that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit. For they that are the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are the Spirit mind the things of the Spirit. So people who are about the flesh do the things of the flesh, but the people who are the Spirit do the things of the Spirit, because that's what they're about. And that's the thing that they mind. That's the thing they worry about. That's the thing that they're literally on their mind, right? It says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, right? So to be carnally minded is death, right? To be spiritually minded is life. And why it just broke down why? Because the carnal mind puts you as an opposition against God, right? Because when you have a carnal mind, a fleshly mind, right? Because carnal and flesh are pretty much the same thing. When you have a carnal and a fleshly mind, you're doing the things carnally. You're doing the things of the flesh. You're giving into, because this flesh is evil. So when you give into it, that's evil, right? That's why you don't. That's why Yahweh Shah was trying to tell the people, the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, that if you clean the outside, if you clean the inside, the outside is going to get clean. He said, but y'all trying to clean the outside and think the inside is going to get clean, right? No. Clean the outside is not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is clean the inside. And then after you clean the inside, the outside is going to take care of itself. The outside is going to naturally fall through, right? But all this comes with cleaning the inside first, because that's the main aspect of it, right? Cleaning the inside. It says, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. So what? They that are in the flesh cannot please God. You cannot please God in the flesh, right? The only way to please God is what? Through the Spirit. We know that already, right? I think they tell you that Hebrews the 11th chapter. For it is impossible to please Him without faith, right? So you can't please God without that faith, right? You can't do it. It can't be done. It says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his, right? So you don't belong to the Lord if you're not the love. As long as it's your thing, you're not after the Lord, right? That's why Yahweh Shai was again telling the scribes and the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, y'all are not of Abraham. Because y'all was of Abraham, y'all would do the works of Abraham. But since y'all are not doing the things of Abraham, how can y'all be of Abraham? You're not doing the things that Abraham is doing, right? It says, verse 10, and if a Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of the sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the spirit of him raised up Yahweh Shai from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by the spirit that dwelleth in you. Right? So in other words, you do die. You do lose out. Right? You do so-called struggle here, trying to follow God. Right? But just like how, what's up, brother? Just like how Yahweh Shai struggled and suffered in the flesh, what happened? Yahweh lifted him up, right? Gave him glory. And that same glory is going to be given upon the people who struggle here to serve God, right? Because serving God, it is a struggle to do it here. And the same people here who do that, just like how Yahweh Shai is lifted up, they're going to be lifted up. Okay, Yahweh is going to see to it that they get lifted up, right? It says, therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh. For you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you live through the spirit, do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. Right? So you live by the flesh, you're going to die. But if you live by the spirit, you're going to get life. Right? That's the only way to survive.